Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jana Vallabha Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Janam Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjanam Yamuna Tira Vanachari Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Shri Shri Radha Madhav ki Jai, Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki Jai, Shri Shri Jagannath Shri Shri Gauranitai ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajakacharya Ashtottara Shata Shri Shri His Divine Grace is Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajakacharya Ashtottara Shata Shri Śrīmad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada ki Jai. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय. प्रेम सह कुछ श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय. वृंदावन धाम की जय. मधुरा धाम की जय. नवदीप मायपुर धाम की जय. जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय. गंगामयी की जय. यमुनामयी की जय. सामवेद गौ तुलसी देवी की जय. भक्ति देवी की जय. सामवेद गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे. हरि हरि बोल. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrutyam Naran Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraet. Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhavati Uttamasloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistike. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. I am seeking the blessings of Gurudev and the Vaishnavas present here before I start. Hare Krishna. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, 2nd Canto, 7th chapter, 9th text. Yadvenamutpatagatam dvijavakya vajram Nisplushta paurushabhagam niraye patantam Tratvartito jagati puram putrapadam chalebe Dugdha vasuni vasudha sakalani yena Yadvenamutpatagatam dvijavakya vajram निष्प्लुष्टपौरुषभगं निरये पतन्तं त्रात्वार्तितो जगति पुत्रपदं च लेभे दुग्धा वसूनि वसदा सकलानि येन यद्वेनमुत्पतगतं द्विजवाक्यवज्रा निष्प्लुष्टपौरुषभगं निरये पतन्तं त्रात्वार्तितो जगति पुत्रपदं च लेभे दुग्धा वसूनि वसदा सकलानि येन यद्वेनमुत्पतगतं द्विजवाक्यवज्रा निष्प्लुष्टपौरुषभगं निरये पतन्तं त्रात्वार्तितो जगति पुत्रपदं च लेभे दुग्धा वसूनि वसुधा सकलानि येनं यद्वेनमुत्पतगतं द्विजवाक्यवज्रा निष्प्लुष्टपौरुषभगं निरये पतन्तं त्वात्रार्तितो जगति पुत्रपदं च लेभे दुग्धा वसूनि वसदा सकलानि येन यद्वेनमुत्पतगतं द्विजवाक्यवज्रा निष्प्लुष्टपौरुषभगं निरये पतन्तं तत्रार्तितो जगति पुत्रपदं च लेभे दुग्धा वसूनि वसदा सकलानि येनं यद्वेनमुत्पतगतं द्विजवाक्यवज्रा निष्प्लुष्टपौरुषभगं निरये पतन्तं त्रात्वार्तितो जगति पुत्रपदं च लेभे दुग्धा वसूनि वसदा सकलानि येनं Yet, when Venam unto King Venam Utpatagatam, going astray from the righteous path, Dvija of the Brahmanas, Vakya, words of cursing, Vajra, thunderbolt, Nisplushta, being burned by, Paurusha, great deeds, Bhagam, opulence, Niraye, into hell, Patantam, going down, Tratva, by delivering, Artitaha, so being prayed of her, Jagati, on the world, Putrapadam, the position of the sun, Cha, as well as, Lebe, achieved, Dugdha, exploited, Vasuni, produce, Vasudha, of the earth, Sakalani, all kinds of, Ena, by whom? Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Maharaja Vena went astray from the path of righteousness, and the Brahmanas chastised him by the thunderbolt curse. By this King Vena was burnt with his good deeds and opulence and was en route to hell. The Lord, by his causeless mercy, descended as his son by the name of Prudu, delivered the condemned king Vena from hell, and exploited the earth by drawing all kinds of crops as produce. Purport. According to the system of Varnashrama Dharma, the pious and learned Brahmanas were the natural guardians of society. The Brahmanas, by their learned labor of love, would instruct the administrator kings how to rule the country in complete righteousness. And thus the process would go on as a perfect welfare state. The kings or the Kshatriya administrators would always consult the council of learned Brahmanas. They were never autocratic monarchs. The scriptures like Manusamhita and other authorized books of the great sages were guiding principles for ruling the subjects, and there was no need for less intelligent persons to manufacture a code of law in the name of democracy. The less intelligent mass of people have very little knowledge of their own welfare, as child has very little knowledge of its future well-being. The experienced father guides the innocent child towards the path of progress, and the childlike mass of people need similar guidance. The standard welfare codes are already there in the Mahanusamhita and other Vedic literatures. The learned Brahmanas would advise the king in terms of those standard books of knowledge and with reference to the particular situation of time and place. Such Brahmanas were not paid servants of the king, and therefore they had the strength to dictate to the king on the principles of scriptures. This system continued even up to the time of Maharaja Chandragupta, and the Brahmana Chanakya was his unpaid prime minister. Maharaja Vena did not adhere to this principle of ruling, and he disobeyed the learned Brahmanas. The broad-minded Brahmanas were not self-interested, but looked to the interest of complete welfare for all the subjects. They wanted to chastise King Vena for his misconduct, and so prayed to the Almighty Lord as well as cursed the king. Long life, obedience, good reputation, righteousness, prospects of being promoted to higher planets, and blessings of great personalities are all vanquished simply by disobedience to a great soul. One should strictly try to follow in the footsteps of great souls. Maharaja Vena became a king undoubtedly due to his past deeds of righteousness, but because he willfully neglected the great souls, he was punished by the laws of all the above mentioned acquisitions. In the Vamana Purana, the history of Maharaja Vena and his degradation are fully described. When Maharaja Prithu heard about the hellish condition of his father, Vena, who was suffering from leprosy in the family of Emlacham, he at once brought the former king to Kurukshetra for his purification and relieved him of all sufferings. Maharaja Prithu, the incarnation of God, descended by the prayer of the Brahmanas to rectify the disorders on earth. He produced all kinds of crops, but at the same time, he performed the duty of a son who delivers his father from hellish conditions. The word Putra means one who delivers from hell, called Put, that is a worthy son. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Shalakayam Chakshurunmilitam Dena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaham Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Nena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vancha Kalpatarobhyasya Kripa Sindhobhyeva Cha Patidanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaham Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukunda Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamam Shri Gurum Dinataranam. Hare Krishna. So Bhaktivinoda says, Amike dosi dosi. So just with that prayerful mood, although I am dosi, but by the blessings of Vaishnavas and my Gurudev, just got the opportunity of service to as an opportunity of purification of my heart. So let me speak something which is helpful, which helps my heart, and also as a little service to Vaishnavas. So King Vena, here the context, as we know, everyone, Brahma is explaining to Narada all incarnations of Supreme Lord. So in the sequence, Brahma is talking about King Vena to Narada. So King Vena is, before we speak about King Vena, I just want to discuss something about father of King Vena, who is Anga, King Anga. So King Anga is a very pure, and he is a pure devotee of Krishna. He was ruling nicely, and he was performing sacrifices, everything. But once he started Ashwamedha Yajna, but somehow demigods were not ready to accept the whatever oblations offered in the sacrifice. When Anga inquired Brahmanas, what is the reason that demigods are not accepting, are not pleased, or not taking the oblations, then Brahmanas were informing King Anga that you have no sin committed in this life, and also you have not committed any sin even in your mind in this life, but in your previous life there was sinful activity. So because of that you don't have a son. So that is why demigods are not accepting oblations. So after hearing this, King Anga thought he can, after the advice of Brahmanas, King Anga started the same sacrifice as for the son, executing that sacrifice for the son by offering the sacrifice to the Supreme Lord Vishnu. That is the suggestion received from Brahmanas, and King Anga also decided, for the sake of son, he converted the same sacrifice as for the pleasure of Vishnu. So after the sacrifice, there was a blessing, received pot rice. Then King Anga actually giving that milk rice to his wife Sunita. Sunita was actually, Prabhupada writes, I'll tell later what Prabhupada writes. And then King Vena actually born out of Sunita. So here actually Vidura was very inquisitive and asking Maitreya, how come King Anga, although he is very pious and very pure, he got a son who is cruel and who is very, who commits abominable things. Then Vidura was very inquisitive. And then Maitreya started narrating why it is so. So Maitreya said that Our Prabhupada explains that when king was conducting that sacrifice, for the sake of son, he just started offering the oblations to Vishnu. He was not intended the oblations to please or offering to Vishnu. So for the sake of son, it means just there is something. So he that is the reason actually is. Maitreya is explaining to Vidura. What Prabhupada explains there is, although Sunita is not qualified or not fit for accepting or taking that offering, which is the mercy received in that sacrifice, but King Anga very liberally, without any hesitation, he offered or he given to his wife Sunita. So Supreme Lord Krishna wanted to teach a lesson so that King Anga becomes detached from family life. When he has a son who is cruel and who is not very favorable, so that he will have this, he can make progress in his spiritual or self-realization process. So that is what actually Maitreya was addressing to Vidura upon inquiry of Vidura. So and also there Prabhupada writes the way of receiving knowledge from the scriptural knowledge or transcendental knowledge is actually by the process of pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. So although there are sources, we have digital sources, YouTube or social media, anything, but the actual Sri Sri Radha Madhav ki Jai, Sri Sri Gauranithai ki Jai, Sri Sri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Sudarshanamaya ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So Prabhupada emphasizes in that particular purport how Vidura is actually acquiring transcendental knowledge from Maitreya. The process of acquiring knowledge is pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. So this is the process. There can be many sources of getting information, but that information is okay. If that information has to be transformed to spiritual knowledge or a transcendental knowledge, one has to approach a Vaishnava or a spiritual master, inquire submissively, render service, and then acquire the transcendental knowledge. This is a process. So King Anga, after seeing his son King Vena, he was, even in childhood, he was very cruel. When he goes to, after learning Vidya, like archery, he goes to forest, he hunts deers just like that, he kills animals for no reason. And when he plays with his friends in his childhood, he even kills his friends just like that. When he don't like or when he is not felt good, he just like that, he kills his own friends. Such cruel he is, such merciless he is. By seeing all these things, King Anga felt very upset, and he was actually introspecting about this particular circumstance, having a bad son. And then he felt that it's an opportunity, now I can leave home and king and go to the forest, and then I can continue my devotional journey. So King Anga decided one day and night, he just left home and palace, opulence, everything, and went to the forest and started his thing. So here I felt like how devotees, sincere practitioners turns every problem or obstacle as an opportunity of progress in devotion. So King Anga definitely had bad son, which is not a favorable thing in social point of view, but he considered that as an opportunity or a stepping stone in his devotional journey. So I felt in practical application in day-to-day life as a gruhastha or brahmachari or any ashrama, there are many challenges, there are many obstacles, there are many unfavorable situations, but provided if we are sincere, we can definitely turn that obstacle as an opportunity. Srila Prabhupada explains Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam, that sloka. So how Krishna gives intelligence how to turn that particular unfavorable situation as an opportunity to move forward in devotion. So it's a lesson I felt and inspiring thing to learn from King Anga. Such examples, such personalities actually helps us to come out of this, not to stuck with the problems, not to stuck with unfavorable situations, rather how to turn those things as a favorable things. So it's a very inspiring to hear King Anga's decision and step and his practice. So now there is a situation that there is no king in the society, in the world, in the state. Rogues and thieves and mischievous activities started increasing, and then sages of the kingdom again became worried and started thinking of the welfare of the entire state or country. They gathered together, consulted each other and talked to each other. Now what to do? Then they consulted Sunita, mother of Vena, and enthroned King Vena as, Vena as king. So there was no option. So they thought, although all sages know that Vena was not a very good personality, he is very cruel and merciless and very rebellious, but still they want to give an opportunity. They want to give one opportunity to Vena, because they thought they are all descendants of King Dhruva Maharaj. So because he is coming in the line of Dhruva, he might get change if we give an opportunity. So I feel like it's very wonderful. If there is some relation with any pure devotee, such a wonderful opportunity we will get. So King Dhruva, because of Dhruva, King Vena, Vena became a king, and he got such a nice opportunity to turn his attention. He could have utilized, but so that was the thought process of sages or Brahmanas, learned Brahmanas. So this is what I felt, Krishna consciousness. When we think or when we take any decision, it comes out of the well-wishing nature, well-wishing attitude. So sages were, or learned Brahmanas were doing the same. Out of the well-wishing nature, they could see that Vena's relation and his lineage, all those things. So they gave an opportunity to Vena. But still Vena, after becoming a king, he became more rude and more cruel. He even started stopping all sacrifices. He encouraged irreligious activities. He doesn't want any religious rituals. He also encouraging that he is like king, like a supreme personality of Godhead. Everyone should worship him, and he harassing Brahmanas, sages, not allowing to do fire sacrifices, everything. Now, although thieves and rogues in the state, because of the Vena's cruel nature, they became fearful, but king himself now became the cause of the worry or fear for the public. So like in Telugu, కంచె చేను మేస్తే అనే సామెత ఒకటి ఉంది. Similarly, when king himself became cruel, then what citizens can do? How come they will be happy and auspicious, or they feel comfortable? They can lead happy life. It's not possible. So there is so much inauspiciousness, troublesome, difficulty. Everything is there. Now again sages of the state started thinking of the welfare of the people. So they consulted each other and formed a gathering, and then went to King Vena, thought of speaking to him by sweet words and explaining some things so that King Vena might change. So again they are giving a try to Vena. So sages started speaking about the importance of sacrifices and fire sacrifice, religious rituals, and brahmanas performing yagnas, so that king will be elevated to the heavenly planets. The whole citizens of the country will be benefited. In all possible ways, brahmanas and sages explained to King Vena. But King Vena actually replied in a way that I'll just read out what he says exactly. King Vena replied, "You are not at all experienced. It is very much regrettable that you are maintaining something which is not religious and are accepting it as religious." So King Vena is saying the exactly opposite. Indeed, I think you are giving up your real husband who maintains you and are searching after some paramour to worship. So King Vena is thinking that he is the whole and soul maintainer of brahmanas and everyone, although Krishna is the source of all sources and who is the maintainer. Those who out of gross ignorance do not worship the king, who is actually the Supreme Personality of Godhead, experience the happiness neither in this world nor in the world after death. So King Vena actually kind of saying a warning to the sages that you will not be happy if you don't worship me. You are so much devoted to the demigods, but who are they? Indeed, your affection for these demigods is exactly like the affection of an unchaste woman who neglects her married life and gives all attention to her paramour. So King Vena is addressing sages that he is actually maintaining, but these brahmanas asking King Vena to do fire sacrifices, allowed to do fire sacrifices to please demigods. But that is the reason he is comparing that sages and brahmanas are like an unchaste women who are neglecting, who neglects married life and give attention to her paramour. As soon as one disobeys authority, he immediately becomes very sinful and loses his good fortune. The king was so puffed up and impudent that he dared disrespect the great saintly personalities, and this brought him ruination. So King Vena disobeyed what brahmanas and sages instructed. So here Prabhupada written that how disobeying authority actually ruins oneself and also removes all good fortune from one's life. King Vena itself is a very good example here that although he has very good fortune of enjoying opulence, material opulence, and even he can ascend to heavenly planets to enjoy and to have more enjoyment and everything, all good fortune. But because he disobeyed, now Brahmanas decided to kill King Vena. Because they thought if King Vena continues, it becomes more dangerous to the entire society. So they decided to kill Vena just by some hymn sounds, Vedic mantra sounds. They killed Vena. So it is very powerful, like Prabhupada writes in those purports. Although in Kali Yuga, sages or Brahmanas are not powerful like that, but earlier in previous yugas, Brahmanas were very pure, and so they are very powerful. Just by chanting mantras, they could kill king who is emperor of the world. So they are very powerful. So now there is no king. Again, there are problems in the kingdom. Again, sages actually started thinking of the welfare of the people, because if there is no leader in the society, naturally religiosity and all abominable activities will grow and increase, and it will lead to so much miseries for the people or public. So again they thought, and they now actually what happens was Sunita, mother of King Vena, preserved the dead body of King Vena for some reason which I don't know. But later on, sages used the dead body of King Vena because sages thought that the semen which is coming in the line of Dhruva is very powerful. So for that reason, they wanted to produce good children out of King Vena's dead body. It is quite possible in those days, but now our scientists not yet reached, may not be reached, but Vedic science are in Vedic culture, sages were very powerful. They know the science of producing the children even out of dead body. So when sages were actually churning the arms of King Vena's dead body, two personalities came out. One is Prudu, King Prudu, and the other is Lakshmi, actually incarnation. So now Prudu appeared, and then after appearance of Prudu, the great king, all sages, Brahmanas, everyone actually started praising King Prudu, and everyone became happy. And but one interesting thing here, actually Prudu replies to all the sages, "You're all praising me like anything which I don't have. I'm not the worthy person to receive all those praise, the qualities which you are all mentioning. So kindly allow me to do some service to all of you, and then you can praise." Like that, King Prudu responded to the sages. So that was also very instructive, I felt. He was actually showing the path. When someone praises us, to reflect ourselves that how worthy we are. So King Prudu is not much interested in receiving prizes, but rather he wanted to serve the citizens and sages. That's what he requested all the sages when they were all praising him. So it's a very deep service mode. When one carries nice service mode, the service will come forefront, service attitude will come forefront than anything else. That's what I felt when I just read King Prudu's response to the sage's praise. So, and then finally, King Prudu started governing the entire kingdom nicely, and he came to know that his father, King Vena, after suffering so many years in the hell, he took birth again in a Mlacha family and is suffering with leprosy. So, he came to know that Prudu, and then he he went to his father, he brought his father, King Vena, previous life, he is Vena, but now he is in a leper, so suffering with the leprosy. He brought him back to the Kurukshetra, and he treated him well, and he finally, whatever the service, he delivered from that disease and all. So in the last line of purport, Prabhupada said that how Putra means one who even protects or delivers his father or forefathers. So King Prudu actually sets an example or a standard for all of the sons to do the duty properly, so that even if there is any sin which is either father or forefathers suffering due to their sins, they will be delivered. So for that reason also, the son is very responsible to do their duties properly. Of course, practicing Krishna consciousness is the best way of doing our duties, so that our forefathers will be delivered even from their sinful reactions. So here I have some points which I felt inspired to share, that how disobeying nature of King Vena actually ruined himself. So as we know all, Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado Yasya prasadan nagati kutopi. So when we obey the spiritual master, there is all good fortune in our life. When we disobey the spiritual master, there is all misfortune only, like King Vena. And also we can see many examples. For example, Duryodhana. Duryodhana is the person, he could not obey even a small thing from his father or from elders or even from Krishna, Supreme Lord Krishna. So he could not hear anything, he disobeyed everything, and finally he actually lost, or he ruined himself, he lost all brothers and everything. So how obeying authority, Vaishnava or spiritual master is a great blessing in our life. Actually, obeying a Vaishnava, who is impure, Vaishnava who is pure, obeying him actually enables to receive the mercy of Supreme Lord unlimitedly. For example, Srila Prabhupada, when Bhaktisiddhanta instructed after his departure to form GBC or Governing Body Commission of 12 members and continue Mata as a society and preach Krishna consciousness to everyone and any English speaking people, but that order or instruction was neglected by his disciples. And there was a great havoc created after departure of Bhaktisiddhanta, and there were parties and political aspects, who could lead, who can become acharya, all those things, because They were not seeing the instruction of the spiritual master. They disobeyed the spiritual master. There was a havoc in the lineage. And they were all actually lost to receive the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But rather the other side, Srila Prabhupada, who is not part of this political angle, rather he always meditated on the instruction of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta, and he could become the object of the mercy of the unlimited mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's how the ISKCON spread across the world. It's simply unlimited mercy. Who am I? Took birth in such a, Kali Yuga, everyone is a Shudra family, but now we got the opportunity of speaking, learning Bhagavad Gita, practicing Bhagavad Gita, and speaking Bhagavad Gita. How come it is possible? It's unimaginable thing became possible when a person became obedient to the instruction of a spiritual master. So it is very, very powerful, and the first and the foremost quality of any disciple or any student who want to practice Krishna consciousness nicely, one must carefully observe the orders of spiritual master. Spiritual master doesn't mean that only Diksha Guru, but whoever is training us with pure intentions, we should actually follow those orders, instructions carefully. To the extent we follow carefully, to that extent we become the object of the mercy. That's how the science of mercy works. If we pay to the great attention to the instruction of a Vaishnava, to that extent we receive the mercy. So that's what Prabhupada is the best example, as I mentioned. So we can see many times, in my own practices, I see many times not much serious of our instructions. Sometimes we think that we are doing better already, or we are not very much attentive to the orders or instructions of spiritual master or Vaishnavas, or even we can say, for example, sometimes we chanting 16 rounds, sometimes we postpone thinking that it's okay today, so-and-so reason, so-and-so not well, whatever it is the reason. If we try to stick to the instructions like chanting daily, for example, then it gives immense strength to make progress in devotional life. I'm just giving one example, but it is applicable, equally applicable to all other angas of devotional practice. For example, hearing and also reading and also seva. Sometimes we do seva, sometimes we don't, and sometimes it's okay. We can take, we can relax, and something like not much seriousness we show. So the point which I'm trying to meditate or make point is, if we want to get out of this material entanglement, if we utilize the orders of spiritual master, if we pay attention, serious attention to the spiritual master's words, definitely we can make very rapid advancement in spiritual life, and we can go back to Godhead Krishna. So I am just trying to say another point is, not paying much attention in following the instruction actually sluggish our devotional journey. It slows down our devotional progress. That is for sure. So, and actually, I just want to share one example which I read story. There are two boys in a, it's a story narrated by one devotee, one senior devotee. in a village called Narayanapur. There are two boys. One is Surya, the other one is Janardhan. They are actually students of students, and there was one Vedic teacher, nice teacher, pure teacher, selfless teacher. He was actually teaching both students, and Surya. And whenever a teacher gives instructions like writing assignments or anything, Surya was very diligent. Janardhan was very lazy, and he thinks what is there in it, if we write what is there, if we don't write what is there, like that he used to think. But Surya was very diligent and used to even tell to Janardhan, if you follow whatever a teacher said, it helps us. Even if we don't know the end goal or end benefit, we will be benefited if we follow the instruction of teacher. Like that, Surya used to instruct to his friend. But Janardhan is very lazy, he neglects always. So the other time, teacher told that bring the wood and cut it and for the sacrifice or whatever firewood. And then Surya followed as it is instruction. And then Janardhan, as expected, why we have to spend time in gathering fresh wood, we have to cut it, it takes time and energy. There is around already firewood cut firewood is already available, we can take it directly. But Surya objected that if we follow whatever our teacher told, it helps. But Janardhan neglects. But one day, actually there was a storm. There was a field, crop of his spiritual master or a teacher. Then Surya immediately thought that his teacher's crop will be ruined because there is a flood is coming on the way. He wanted to somehow stop the flood to not enter into the field of crop. So somehow he's struggling alone and is pulling a log of wood, trying to block the water or flood. And somehow he struggled and finally he felt unconscious, and the teacher walking around and is trying to look for his students. Where is Surya? He's not to be seen. Then he found near his field, fell unconscious. Then teacher asked what happened, and then Surya explained what happened. Then teacher was saying to Surya that now your training is done, you can go to home and then lead meaningful life which helps you to advance in spiritual life. So the Janardhan was surprised why I did not get that instruction, or why teacher is not asking me to go back home. Then teacher told to Janardhan, you have to continue training. And then teacher instructed to Janardhan that now you just beg for alms and beg for alms. And then Janardhan went for begging alms, and then he thought that it is so nice, I don't need to do anything. It's I'm just getting enough food, I can eat. And he started gaining weight, and teacher observed and started asking, what is happening, why you are gaining weight? And then Janardhan said that whatever food I'm getting, I'm eating. No, you should not do like that. Then again, he went for grazing cows. And then again, after some time, he started gaining weight. Then I told you not to eat alms, right? Why you are gaining weight? Then he said, I'm not eating food, grain food, but I'm drinking the milk from the cows in the field. He was saying, no, don't drink, stop it. That's not good for you. And then again, after some time, he started still increasing, because he keep on, just taking fruits from the trees and eating like anything. And then again teacher asked what is happening. Then he said, I am not eating food, I am not drinking milk, but I am eating fruits from the trees. Then you also should stop that, don't do that. And then finally one day, now Janardhan is practicing, trying to control his senses, whatever his master told. And finally one day he was very hungry, but he doesn't want to violate the instruction of his guru, and he felt he's unable to tolerate the hunger, and he just ate some thorns and felt unconscious. And again teacher is very affectionate, so he started looking for the Janardhan, where is his student. Then he found somewhere, fell unconscious. Then he woke him up and then finally asked what happened. Then he explained he not ate anything, but he was so hungry, so he couldn't tolerate, so he ate some thorns. Then Guru is very much pleased that he's sticking to the instruction of spiritual master, and also honesty, and his honesty and obedience to the teacher's words. So then he told, now your training is over and you can go back to home and continue your life as with meaningful life, like that. So the point I'm trying to mention here is how the teacher actually wanted to learn the student how to obey the spiritual master. That was actually he wanted to teach. That is the reason he was asking not to eat this and that, all those things. So when that was done, then he actually relieved the student. So obedience is such a wonderful quality for any student, particularly in spiritual life. That is the foremost quality which helps us to advance in our spiritual life. We may also find shortcuts, like the boy Janardhan. He doesn't want to actually execute the way his teacher wants. Actually, he wanted to do the things in shortcut, and lazy, all those things are there. Similarly, those things will appear in our practices also. Instead of following the things as it is, we may find shortcuts, we may skip the things, or we may do selectively those things. All those things may not help much unless we realize that everything which is coming from the spiritual master or pure Vaishnava is actually helpful. Everything is helpful to us. We have to accept, and we have to learn to accept, either today or tomorrow or over the period. If not today, we have to have a plan. At least in future we will be able to come to that standard of practicing bhakti, so that we will be able to receive the mercy of Krishna. For obeying the spiritual master or Vaishnava is the eligibility criteria to receive the mercy of Supreme Lord. This is the science how it works. And recently, Srila Jayapataka Goswami Gurudev, in his monthly message, he was mentioning one phrase that I am experiencing ever bliss day by day, ever increasing bliss day by day, he mentioned. Just a few days back, maybe 1 week back, he mentioned in his monthly message he sends every month a monthly message to his disciples. So I got that message. In that he mentioned that I am experiencing the bliss ever increasing in my Krishna consciousness. So how it is possible? Anandambude vardhanam pratipadam purnamruta swadanam. Because all disciples of Prabhupada are like that only. So he stuck to the order of Srila Prabhupada. He is strictly following the instruction of Srila Prabhupada. So he could experience that bliss. So that Anandambudhi Vardhanam Pratipadam Purnamrita Swadanam is not a small thing, but he is experiencing. That is why he is sharing that. And he mentioned, all of you also want to experience the same bliss he mentions in that message. So how is it that possible? Because by following the instruction of spiritual master, although he is in that condition, but still he wants to serve Srila Prabhupada, as we all know. So that is why he is blessed and he has unlimited mercy. That is why he has unlimited bliss in his heart. So I felt very, very inspired by reading his message, and I could see his practical realization in it. So overall point is here, obeying the spiritual master Vaishnava, pure Vaishnava, actually enables us to that unlimited bliss, unlimited mercy, and finally go back to Godhead, Krishna. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any comments? Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Ki jai.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Gurudev.